Styles add wow factors to your presentation. And AngularJS has some built-in directives to set these styles dynamically using expressions. I want to start with the ng style directive first. So I have my basic HTML in place, which is having 3 buttons, one for setting color, second for setting text as bold, and third for setting text as italic. Using ng style directive, we can pass the JavaScript object which contains individual style properties. So let's create these objects as the user clicks on these buttons. For my first button, I'm going to add ng-click directive, which will create and assign an object which will contain text color property. So this style object will be created in the current scope. Next, for this bold button, I'm going to do the same, but it will have the property called font weight and the value will be bold. Next, I'm going to have a code for italic button, but the font style will be italic. Finally, I will decorate my paragraph text with ng style directive and assign it value as styles object. So based on the styles object, this paragraph element will be styled. So let's run the application. Click on set color button. Awesome. The color is red as expected. Click on bold button. Text is getting bold now. And then on italic, text is italic now. Great. But using inline styles like this is a bad practice. I just wanted to introduce this directive. That's why I have started with it first. So the replacement for this inline style is classes. And let's see how we can apply styles as classes to HTML elements using Angular. So I have created separate HTML file for this example. You can see I have defined some custom styles as CSS classes over here and some HTML. There are 3 flavors of ng class directives available. So I have created 3 different HTML groups to explain. First one is the simplest one, using which we can assign one class at one time. So you can see I have one text input here which says type bold, strike, or red. These are the same names I have created the classes over here. So if I will type bold here, that value will be stored here inside the style property specified on ng model. Let's use ng class directive and bind it to the style property. So whatever I will type here in this text input will be stored in this style property, and as it is bound to this paragraph, ng class will look for the class with this style name and assign that class to this paragraph element. Let's run and see. Let's type bold first. There we go. The text is getting bold. Let's try strike. And then red. Cool. It's working fine. Now this version of ng class has a limitation of one class at one time. But most of the time we need to assign multiple classes, right? So we can assign multiple classes using 2 different versions. One with object having keys as class name and values as true the value. Other one with array, which is collection of class names. I have this second group of HTML code for assigning classes using object version. You can see I have created 3 checkboxes, one for strike class, true the value, one for bold class, true the value, and last one for red class, true the value. So I'm going to add ng class directive here on my paragraph, and this time I will assign it an object. Now this object will contain class names which I want to assign. So I'm going to add all of the class names I have written in my style tag separated by comma. Next, we need to assign the true the values, which I can refer from my checkboxes here. So when I'm going to select deleted checkbox, this will set the deleted model value as true. So I'll use this deleted model value for strike class key, important for bold class key, and error model value for red class key. Cool. So based on my checkboxes selection, true the values of these classes will be set. Let's refresh. First, let's apply the classes individually. Okay, you can see it's working fine. Then all together, this is also working fine. So you can see I can assign multiple classes using object syntax. Next is similar and simple, that's using array syntax. So this time I'm going to decorate this paragraph using ng class directive, and I'm going to assign an array to it, which will contain the comma separated name of the classes. So this time I'm going to hard code these values, refresh the application. Cool. So all of the three classes are applied as I have hard coded all of the three classes values. Same thing you can do dynamically as well. Now at last, I want to quickly cover two more style directives which we can use for styling our table rows using alternating colors. And I'm using the same HTML we have finished using ngRepeat directive. We have used ng class directive for alternating the row colors. You can see based on the $odd variable value, we are assigning the even or odd classes to tr element. So I'm going to remove the ng class directive. We're going to use ng class odd directive to color the odd rows with odd class, and ng class even directive to color the even rows with even class. You can see I have specified the class names as string. You can also use the expression here. Let's run for the final time, and there we go. We have table rows with alternating colors.